What's a thing you used to hate that you've eventually come to love? Almost everything. I'm the world's biggest hater until I try something new. Then I love it. Weirdly, the pink color. Of course, as a child it just felt girlish. Hell, I probably cried if my lollipop was pink and I wanted a blue one. But for some reason every game I play I want my character to have a pink aspect, whether it be eye color, armor color or whatever. It's weird. Myself. Coffee. I hated the bitterness at first, but now am a full-blown caffeine addict. Being left alone. Reading. I used to really dislike dogs, but since I was living with my parents at the time, I couldn't express that opinion. That changed completely when I witnessed our dog crying on the day my grandmother passed away. Now, my dog is always by my side through the difficult times in my life, and I dearly love him. Cooking is the one I think had the biggest impact. I was never good at cooking, but lived in a house where everyone except my mom, who hated it, loved, and was very good at it. My dad tried to teach me when I was in middle school, but I could never get consistent results and we were both frustrated. My sister also tried teaching me, but instead of it being teaching, it was more like she would take over cooking or add a ton of spices not in a recipe I was trying to follow, which wasn't enjoyable. It also sucked, because whenever I made a meal that was actually good, my sister would refuse to eat it solely due to the fact that I was the one who made it. The younger of my two older brothers moved out before I really hit the phase of trying to learn again, although if he stayed in the house I think he would be one of the few to encourage and teach me patiently. Now that I am older, I started to like looking up recipes and trying to make different cultures' foods. I am still not the greatest cook, but I've found tons of easy recipes that are pretty cheap to make and keep me healthy. It's now a little hobby of mine. Funny how life changes. Having my hair washed. As a kid I used to cry, but gosh, in the salon having them massage your scalp, so relaxing. Sushi. As a kid, the idea of eating raw fish was the pinnacle of gross in my mind. Fast forward to adulthood, where a colleague finally convinced me to give it a try at a highly recommended spot. Talk about a 180-degree turn. I couldn't believe what I'd been missing out on. The flavors, the textures, it was all so new and yet so right. No point in dwelling on the years of sushi-less existence, though. I'm making up for lost time now, one roll at a time. Having a hard time studying or learning anything difficult. Also the pain that comes with exercise. Now I love the feeling of both. Spanking and naps count? Salads. Turns out I just had to add salt and black pepper SMH. Ginger. First time I had food with it, I thought they hadn't rinsed the plate properly and that I was eating traces of dish soap. Onions on my food. Brussels sprouts. Not hate, but I used to feel quite uncomfortable about dogs. Didn't trust them, always a bit scared of the sudden movements, the fact that they barked at me or tried to put their paws on my legs. My wife really wanted a puppy, however, so after a long hesitation, I caved in and we did it. Within months, I was at the typical. If I had known how much fun it would be. I love our doggies, even the naughty one. And it made me help to read other dogs so much better. I feel so much more confident with dogs nowadays. Salmon? Was just talking about that as I had salmon for dinner last night. Guitar pedals. I've played guitar for 25 years, and up until a year and a half ago, I never used pedals, for one reason or another. But I got a new amplifier and I had to buy something called a noise gate because my amp was too noisy, so I picked that up and a cheap 20 distortion pedal. A year and a half later, and now I have a massive pedal board and 2,000 worth of pedals. I know this is niche and half of you won't know what I'm talking about, but still. Napping in the afternoon.